And in the style of tomorrow's competition announcements, the Cedar Cliffs Classic Tournament of Bands is proud to present in competition performance drum major Aiden Holder and the Robbinsville Black Knight Marching Band.
Woohoo! Yeah! I'm shocked. They're normally sold out, packed down the stadium.
You may now enter the field for competition.
Are you live?
Oh, yeah.
Because they can hear me.
They can hear everything.
Hey, you got to give us a heads up. I might be.
I told you I was going live. You wouldn't listen to me.
I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
At the end of the battle, bewildered, lost between worlds, with only the sound of Odin's ravens to guide you. I wonder, can we see our golden planet? I shall ask you later. Until then, you will relive the battle, dead to your eyes. I am called Ev, and I am a Valkyrie who has led countless in Hediar slain heroes from the battlefield to Odin's magnificent hall. The promised land of a Viking warrior, the great
That's what I was talking about.
Pretty skinny. Thank God.
And I know that sucker is not light.
You were absolutely right.
And having the wind blow and carry it. Two times. I got 4 times on that.
Somebody commented on the Andrews swing back there. They look like colors or uniform colors. Like swings wearing white on red. Black on
They said Texas was changing up the uniforms purple. That's not getting good luck.
that big chew. Oh yeah. Sound great. They sound fantastic. Tinsley.
Ladies and gentlemen across the stadium, if you will, please stand. I invite you please to stand. Remove all head covering. Let us take a moment to bow our heads in silence. A moment of silence led by Robbinsville High School junior Carter Birchfield. Please remain standing as our marching Black Knights play the national anthem.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we ask your blessing on the game we are about to play. Give each one of the players the courage to play the game in a manner which by your words and your actions is pleasing to you. Let us enter into the competition in a spirit of sportsmanship and respect for members of the opposing team. We ask that you keep every player safe and every coach, cheerleader, and band member safe as well. Amen.
Amen. Great prayer.
we certainly hope you've enjoyed the pregame festivities with the Robbinsville Marching Band performing on the field and, of course, now playing the national anthem. Back in just a moment with the opening for tonight's game. It's Robbinsville Cherokee football. You're in the right place here on the Gramstar Sports Network. Tonight's telecast of Robbinsville Varsity football is being brought to you by Blevins Insurance, located off of Rodney or Bypass in Robbinsville. Give them a call for all of your insurance needs. Fans, we welcome you to Robbinsville for tonight's Smoky Mountain Conference matchup. That's right, we're in divisional play now, our first telecast in a couple of weeks, and we thank you for tuning in on this beautiful Friday evening in Graham County. Black Knights piling out into the end zone as they're just about 5 minutes away from kicking off against the Cherokee Braves. Kevin Hensley with you for tonight's telecast here on GramstarSports.com, your exclusive home for Robbinsville Athletics, streaming it all season long and beyond. Like we got our captains out here for the Black Knights. They're greeting the officials down here at the 50. And looks like it's going to be Cutler Adams, number 4. I believe that is Donovan Carpenter, the quarterback, number 11, and Carlos Lopez, the big lineman, number 54. Cherokee filing out a locker room on the other side, and we'll wait to see who splits off from the group. Actually, I believe it's going to be 5 captains for Cherokee. United stand to walk out tonight. Robbinsville coming off a tough victory last week at Swain County in their conference opener. A smash-mouth football game if there's been one this season. Heated atmosphere, a great atmosphere over in Bryson City. Cherokee opened its conference schedule last week with a loss at Murphy for Murphy's homecoming game. And the Braves are still, in fact, looking for just their second win of the season as they enter tonight's game. Robbinsville is 5-1. Knights lost to Asheville in the season opener and have not lost since. We got Caden Trantham, number 5, number 12, So Smith, number 60, Luke Smith, number 35, Xavier Otter, and number 61, Kenson Davis. That's going to bring up your captains tonight for both teams. And we got the opening coin toss out of the way. Looks like it's going to be Robbinsville receiving the ball to begin tonight's game. Head official Daniel McNabb signals as such. And both teams shaking hands before waging war here tonight under the Big Oaks. Black Knights are winners of 3 straight conference championships and are looking to make that 4 in a row here tonight. They're going to continue on that quest against the Cherokee Braves. Fans starting to rise to their feet. There's a buzz in the stadium, and we're privileged to have you with us tonight here on GramstarSports.com. We are your only authorized source for Robbinsville Athletics, streaming it all season long and beyond. Anyone else is not valid and subject to fines and imprisonment. Knights swarm the sideline, and the receiving team branches off as Cherokee also now on the field. Hope you're enjoying the fact that we're able to zoom in tonight. That is a nice added bonus. We're trying a different method for being able to bring the game to you, and hopefully it'll make things a little bit better as we continue to ease into our enhanced production we've been promising all season long. Hopefully we'll have all the rest of the bugs worked out before next Friday's matchup here at home. The big one, it is in fact the matchup against Murphy, and it's the final conference game at home this season for Robbinsville, as the Knights will go to Andrews and Hayesville to close out the regular season over the course of October. Cherokee always travels well. It's a part of their mystique and reputation And I believe that is Jack Tisteski that's going to tee it up and kick off here tonight in Robbinsville. Back deep to receive is going to be Cooper Adams and Brock Adams. And a pooch kick goes right around the 32, covered by Quinn Jumper. And that's how we'll begin things tonight. 1st and 10 for the Black Knights at the 31-yard line. Kickoff at 7:29 p.m. here tonight in Robbinsville. And it's a pristine Friday evening, as we mentioned tonight here in Graham County. Current temperature at kickoff 65 degrees. And we'll zoom in here for the opening exchange. I'll stay as close to the action as we can. We don't want to cut anything off, obviously. Donovan Carpenter will go under. Dane Webster to begin tonight. Rolls out. First pass on the first play, and it's complete to Cutler Adams. Finally swarmed down and tackled after crossing the 35 on the short reception. Tackle made by Mattel Grant. Picks up about 4 yards, or 6, excuse me. It'll be 2nd and 4.
Brings up 2nd and 4 for the White Knights.
Pitcher go to Cutler Adams. He's going to get tackled and thrown out of bounds. But I believe So Smith actually got the worst end of that. So Caden Smith tackles him. But that moves the chains for Robbinsville. Fans, if you found us, we appreciate you tuning in tonight. Fans still clamoring into the telecast here on GramStarSports.com as you see Big Jude Campbell on the carry. His first tuck of the ball game. Gets out to the 47-yard line. We'll mark it about the 47 3/4-yard line. Brings up 2nd down and about 5 1/4 as a result. Hand off to Cutler Adams. He's going to cut around the left side, tries to stiff arm, but So Smith is going to wrap him up and take him down. And looks like the referee is banged up on that play. He's hurt. And that is not good. The referee is not doing well, and we're not going to show that. Having to stop the play for just a moment. He is down and not able to get up. He got hit pretty hard on that play. And we'll step aside here for just a moment while they check on the official here on GramStarSports.com. Stay with us. Well, fans, it's not something you see every day, but when an official gets injured, we have to institute some interesting protocols, mainly that I don't think he's coming back in, so we're going to be one official short from this point on. He got knocked out pretty early in the game. It's only 10:04 left here in the first quarter, so a minute 56 has elapsed. And looks like the officials are just trying to figure out who's going to man what. As when you're literally one man down, you got to plug some holes somehow.
You gotta have one on each side.
You got to have one on each side, one on the back, and one covering both sides. Yep. That's what they do for junior varsity games. They don't have 5 officials for that, and it works just fine. It's a rare occurrence. We hope the official is A-OK, and we'll resume play 3rd and 3 at the 49-yard line. Cutler Adams takes the handoff across the 50, and he dives across the chains. That'll be enough to move it and give the Knights a first down. Robbinsville started this drive at the 31-yard line and has methodically worked its way across the Cherokee 50. So far, the Knights have netted 23 yards here tonight, and we're just a scant 2.5 minutes into tonight's game. Handoff goes It's a fake. Donovan Carpenter will keep it. Excuse me. Carpenter will plow forward. Nicely done. And Mateau Grant on the tackle for Cherokee. Tackle goes to the 43 as a gain of 4 for Robbinsville. And the Knights are going to line up now. 2nd and 6 at the 43. Handoff goes to Adams again. He's going to go around the left side. Stiff arm's going to take care of one would-be tackler. And Adams scampers out of bounds under pressure.
Number 12 leads the tackle for the Cherokee Braves.
And that is So Smith on the tackle. And onward we go here on 3rd down and about 3 to go for Robbinsville.
Brings up 3rd down, 3rd and 3 for the Black Knights. It's 3rd down, Black Knight fans.
Robbinsville at the 40-yard line with 8:40 to go here in the first quarter. Appreciate all of you great fans joining us once more for another night of Robbinsville football here on the Gramstar Sports Network. Carpenter can't get the pass off under heavy pressure, and he is waylaid after trying to keep it by Luke Smith, offensive lineman for the Braves. And he'll pick up a couple. It looks like it's going to be 4th and 2.
Brings up 4th and short for the
4th
Black
and
Knights.
short, excuse me. So it'll be about 4th and 1, I should say. My mistake.
4th and 1 for the Black Knights. It's 4th down, Black Knight fans.
Fourth and 1 with 8 minutes and counting to go. And we have a penalty flag. First one of the ball game. It will be a false start on Robbinsville. And that'll back them up to the 43 and try it again. 4th down and 6. Robbinsville on a big 4th down conversion attempt here. Making some headway into Cherokee territory. You don't want to make that mistake, though. And now the Knights are going to have to overcome an obstacle they weren't planning on here on 4th and what was short. And now it's 6 to go. 4th and 6. Fans biting their nails in the stands below us as Carpenter drops back into the shotgun to take the snap. Pass is going to be complete to Brock Adams. Adams got a tiptoe nail in, and that's all he needed to do to keep it in bounds. And that's going to move the chains. That is a huge 4th down conversion for Robbinsville. 1st and 10 now at the 32 of the Braves. Cherokee's only win this season came at Rosman earlier this year. That was a 34-8 victory for the Braves. And it looks like a timeout's going to be called by the Knights with 7:36 to go. We'll stop with them. Stay with us, fans. Back in a moment on the Gramstar Sports Network. First and 10, Robbinsville with new life as we come back to you live from Graham County. Bryce Adams in at quarterback, and he hands off to Cutler Adams as Carpenter will take a breather on the sideline after that rough hit earlier in the series. And Bryce Adams gets his orders from D. Walsh and will jog back Carpenter a little shaken up after that tough blow during that last series, getting a breather. Adams tries to rush forward and is greeted rudely by a trio of Braves. In on the tackle for Cherokee is Caden Trantham. And another pair that we missed their jersey numbers, I'm sorry. That was number 34 helping out as well, Mateo Grant. Third down and about 7 to go with Robbinsville at the 30-yard line. So it's coming down to the wire again after the Knights just converted on 4th and 6 moments ago. Pitch goes to the right side. That is Cutler Adams. Scampers out of bounds. Almost takes out Miranda Buchanan. We can't have that. The Graham Star needs photos from this game. 4th down and 1 at the 24-yard line.
Ball lays on the Cherokee Brave 24-yard line. It's 4th down, football fans. Let's hear it for your team.
6:19 to go here in the first quarter. Cherokee not making it easy here in the early going tonight. Hand off to Adams. Give it to what works, right? He squirts through and I believe got enough for the first. And they're going to signal to move the chains. 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line.
He's got his shoulder pads off.
And Carpenter, I thought, was just off for a quick breather, but looks like he's got his pads off down here below us, so that's not a good sign. Have to check on Mr. Carpenter here in just a moment, see what's going on with that. Flag before we can even get that one off. False start against Robbinsville is going to back the Knights up to the 26. Robbinsville has ran 6 minutes and 10 seconds off the clock already here in the first quarter. Appreciate all you fans tuning in. Whether you're a Cherokee Brave or a Robbinsville Black Knight, you are most certainly welcome. And even though you are watching the Graham Star Sports Network, we'll do our very best to stay neutral so you don't get us confused with some of the other television networks here in the West. On the right side on a breakaway was Zeke Silvers, streaking like a bullet to the sideline. Silvers, such a great athlete, so fast on his feet. And he gets out to the 24. So that'll pick up about 3 that was lost there. 2nd down and 12 with 5:15 and counting to go here in the first quarter. And whistle blows it dead. Looks like the Knights are going to call another timeout with 4:54 to go. This is still the opening drive. Robbinsville has not found pay dirt yet, but they are still alive here on GrahamStarSports.com. It is 2nd down and 12 for the Black Knights as we're back with you live from Robbinsville for this Smoky Mountain Conference matchup between the Knights and the Cherokee Braves. Still the first possession of the game, and a direct snap to Cutler Adams is going to get blown dead. False start against Robbinsville. Knights are jumping and antsy up front here tonight. That is their 3rd false start here in this ball game. Cherokee has not even got to have an offensive snap yet. And 4:50 to go here in the first quarter. Robbinsville dominating possession and has methodically, ever so slightly worked their way down to the 29 of the Braves. All told, 48 yards covered so far in this opening series. High snap, but it's reeled down nicely by Bryce Adams. He's going to keep it. Adams has got a little bit of speed, and he gets about 5 or 6 Braves to greet him. They just continue to pile in. Look like Mateo Grant and Kenton Hill led the way. Also in there was Noah Long, not to be confused with Noah Crow, our PA announcer. 3rd down and about 16 to go. Might have got a yard. They're going to give them 2, actually. 3rd and 15 as Cherokee calls his first break. And a lot of strategizing going on here in the early going. Back in just a moment on GramStarSports.com. Back live from Robbinsville, you're watching the GramStar Sports Network. 3rd and 15, and another snap almost goes awry. Pass is going to be incomplete. Bryce Adams trying to get it to his brother Brock, but can't find him. 4th and 15 from the 27, and when you're this deep across the 50, you about have to go for it here. Fourth and 15 at the 27-yard line. 4:02 to go here in the first quarter. Adams is going to try to chuck it again. Got to do something here. And it is almost complete to Zeke Silvers. He bobbled it as it fell in out of his hands. And that will turn the ball over on downs. So after all that work, the Braves will take over on downs. We have no scores so far, but we are working to get them as soon as we can. Looks like, I don't believe anybody has actually scored yet. We'll just take it that way. We got a pretty reliable reporter down in Andrews. Their host is Swain tonight. Wildcats, of course, 6-0 this year, and Robbinsville will see them in 2 weeks. That'll be a massive matchup that, unfortunately, we will not be able to broadcast, nor will we be there for the season finale at Hayesville, but we will be back, of course, for a playoff action, win, lose, or draw.
72, Titan Kisadisky, number 54, senior Carlos Lopez.
Robbinsville maintained possession of the ball for the first 8 minutes and 19 seconds of this ball game, and ended up turning it over on downs, and now Cherokee takes over at the 27-yard line, and 1 yard. Make that maybe none on that one. So Smith on the carry, tackle led by Titan Kisadisky for Robbinsville. And Carlos Lopez helping out as well. Big Sweet T back in the game. Good to see him back in the uniform. He played last week at Swain and had some injury issues this year, but he looks to be healthy and good to go again. So 1 yard apiece so far for Cherokee is 3rd and 8 from the 29-yard line. And it's going to be a pass play. Fires across, and it is going to be incomplete. Good coverage by Roman Jones. Smith tried to chuck it to Caden Trentham, but that will not work out. Robbinsville kept the ball for the first 8 minutes and 19 seconds of this quarter. The Braves kept the ball for about 45 seconds, and it will be a 3-and-out on the Braves' first possession. And Smith will just drop back even further in the field to punt the ball away. Brock Adams scoots up to around the 40, to receive it. We'll see what So Smith brings to the table, and it's a good punt. Adams gets it and calls it safe and sound at the 40. And that's where Robbinsville will begin its next drive. 1st and 10. The offense got about a 1-minute breather and is already back out.
And the Black Knight offense comes onto the field at its own 40-yard line. 1st and 10, Black Knights.
First and 10 with 2:29 to go here in the first quarter. And now Roman Jones in at quarterback. And he's going to keep it and get around the 40 and not a whole lot farther. He's shoved all the way back nearly to the 30 by a massive pile of Braves led by Luke Climbing Bear and number 61, Kenson Davis. No gain, 2nd and 10. And looks like we've got a official timeout. Player number 8, that is Chase Calhoun, has a little blood on his arm, so he'll have to jog off the field for a moment. Get that bandaged up. While Zach Maney jogs in to relieve him from the sideline. Swain and Andrews goes into the second quarter, no score in Cherokee County. So Swain's big defensive line showing off tonight in Andrews. And the Wildcats are obviously going to be stubborn as well. They didn't get to be 6-0 on a fluke. Run around the left side by Cutler Adams will net Robbinsville 5 yards. 3rd down and 5 for the Knights at the 45-yard line. 1:16 to go here in the first quarter. Good to have you with us, fans, wherever you may be tuned in on GramstarSports.com, your exclusive home for Robbinsville athletics. Streaming it all season long and beyond. Roll out by Bryce Adams. Pass complete to his brother Brock. And he'll get dropped out of bounds. Josh Whitfrey more than happy to pick him up after that big reception. Adams getting some yardage in the air tonight. Robbinsville passing the ball a lot more than they have all season. That's good to see. And it'll be 1st and 10 with 55 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Robbinsville now at the Cherokee 45-yard line. Handoff will go to Cutler Adams. Up to the 40, 39. Ball gets up to the 40-yard line. 2nd down and 5. And right up the gut goes big Turner Jackson for his first touch of the ball game. And that's going to be it for the first quarter. Clock's going to probably run it out here. I doubt the Knights will try to line up. Fans, we are scoreless. 1 quarter elapsed as Donovan Carpenter below us gets taped up. His shoulder must be tweaked. That's not a good sign. We'll see what Bryce Adams and Roman Jones can do for Robbinsville. It is 0-0 after 1 here on the Gramstar Sports Network. Back with you live, fans, from Big Oak Stadium here in Robbinsville. Good to have you with us on the Gramstar Sports Network. First play of the second quarter, it's 3rd down at about 4, and a dive forward is how the Knights will begin their possession.
Handoff goes to number 4, Cutler Adams. Tackle on the play with number 8, Chase Calhoun. And the Black Knights move the ball down inside the 35-yard line. 1st and 10, Black Knights.
So the Knights move the chains. They got the job done there. No score if you're just now tuning in with us here on GramstarSports.com, your exclusive home for Robbinsville athletics. Streaming it all season long and beyond. Pitch goes to Cutler Adams. He breaks around the left side. Hard smack. Steps out of bounds at the 30-yard line. He might have broke away. Chase Calhoun slowed down the pursuit.
for the Cherokee Gray Chase Calhoun.
Rushed him out of bounds.
Forced him out of bounds.
And that's going to bring up second down and 6
Second and 6 for the White Knights.
after the 4-yard pickup.
Cherokee's defense come to play, son.
And a whistle on the field. I don't think the play clock, there it goes. Play clock has now been reset. There's sometimes a delay. We literally have no control over up here in the box. It just kind of has a mind of its own sometimes. No harm, no foul. Everybody's good. Adam Panther on the tackle for the Braves. Stopping Adams at the 26-yard line. That's another 4-yard pickup. Third down and 2 with 10:58 and change to go here in the first half. Very privileged to be able to bring you another night of Knights Athletics. Third and 2. Handoff. Faked. Play action. And the pass will be complete to Jude Campbell. Nicely done. No one was expecting Campbell to run a route there. First and 10. Robbinsville. Nicely done by the senior, Jude Campbell. Gets Robbinsville all the way down to the 15 on an 11-yard heave. And the Knights are in the red zone for the first time in this ball game.
And the White Knights move the ball down to the Cherokee Brave 15-yard line.
Bryce Adams still in it, quarterback. Dive straight forward by Cutler Adams.
Number 35, Xavier Otter on the tackle for the Cherokee Braves.
9:53 to go here in the half. And about 3 yards picked up. Second down and 7. And let's check out our website, GramStarSports.com, where you went to buy your pay-per-view pass tonight. You'll see we've got games scheduled all through next week. 2 volleyball matchups and, of course, the Robbinsville-Murphy football game. Make sure to get your pass now. And that was going to fall incomplete. Brock Adams could have tiptoed into the end zone had the ball got there. However, it will be incomplete. Third down and 7. Knights are at the 12-yard line.
Brings up 3rd and 7 for the White Knights. It's third down, White Knight fans.
Andrews has finally cracked the scoreboard in the second quarter. They lead Swain 7-0 in Cherokee County. Pass complete to Cutler Adams. Still on his feet. Finally wrapped up and tackled up around the 8-yard line, it looks like. Caden Trantham on the tackle for Cherokee. They're going to mark it at the 9.
Brings up 4th and 4 for the White Knights. It's 4th down.
9:05 to go here in the first half. Timeout called. Robbinsville and Cherokee taking a lot of time to strategize here in the first half, but hey, don't want to make any slippery mistakes in a conference matchup. We'll step aside with them for just a second here on GramStarSports.com. 9:02 to go here in the first half. No score yet here in beautiful Graham County, North Carolina. Thank you for spending your Friday night with us here on the Graham Star Sports Network. Adams rolls out. Pass deflected by number 60, Luke Smith. Smith with a big breakup on that 4th and 4 attempt. And that is going to be a turnover on downs again. So Robbinsville gets a little closer to the goal line this time, but can't cash in. And the stubbornness of the defenses shows up again. 8:58 to go. Cherokee takes over at its own 9-yard line. And now the Braves are going to talk things over. This is now the 5th timeout taken here in the half. Cherokee's got one left. Robbinsville has none. Don't forget, fans, coming up at halftime will be the 2022 Graham County Athletics Hall of Fame induction ceremony on the field, and we'll stay with you live for the duration of that very special ceremony. Handoff right up the gut, and some quick positive yardage for Chase Calhoun. And that is Cutler Adams and Rome and Jones on the tackle. But the quick dash by Mr. Calhoun gives Cherokee its first down of the ball game with 8:40 to go here in the opening half of tonight's telecast in Robbinsville. Pickup of 12 on the run for Chase Calhoun. And a run plowing straight forward. Michael Driver not afraid to crack some helmets. Ran right into trouble a few times, just kept plowing forward. Titan Teesteski helping with the takedown effort, as well as Big Turner Jackson. Second down and about 4 to go. We'll call it 4.5.
Brings up 2nd and 4 against the Black Knight defense.
$7:52 to go here in the opening half of tonight's game under the Big Oaks. Run straight forward on the keeper by So Smith. That's going to be all they needed, though, to move the chains. Cherokee has come to play tonight, fans. They have made life difficult for the Robbinsville offense, despite the fact that Robbinsville has kept the ball for about 97% of the game so far. Cherokee has stood tall on back-to-back drives and eventually stopped the Knights' attack. 7:19 and counting here in the second quarter to go. Pitch goes behind, and nobody was fooled, despite the help trying to come in for some Braves. Calhoun took the pitch and got greeted rudely by Bryce Adams, Turner Jackson, and there's that name again, Titan Teesteski. Loss of about 5 is going to bring up it's going to be 2nd and 14. And the Braves are going to line up again. One in the backfield. Motion by Driver. And he'll take it around the left side. And on the cut, he is stopped short by Cutler Adams. And once again, Titan Teesteski. Picked up a couple. 3rd down and 12. Check that, 3rd and 13. Sorry about that. It's hard to read the hash marks all the way up here in the press box sometimes. I can count them now. 3rd and 13 with 5:57 to go here in the second quarter. No score yet here at Modell Walsh Memorial Stadium. Pass complete and a low stop made by Brock Adams. Tackle, I believe that's his first of the game, and on the reception was Xavier Otter. 5:33 to go. And I believe the Braves are going to punt it away again. Back to receive is going to be Brock Adams around the Robbinsville 35. 4th and 5. And the ball is punted away. Adams will let it peter for a moment and then finally picks it up right around the 26, 27-yard line. Looks like where we'll begin things on their next drive. And Robbinsville back in the driver's seat again. They've had it twice already tonight, fans, and have not been able to find the end zone. So we'll see if the first score of this game will get pushed through. With 5:09 to go, Robbinsville can make something happen before the break because the Braves will get it back to begin the third quarter. Bryce Adams rolls out, and he will get stopped. And 34, that is Mateo Grant and Emilio Garcia on the tackle for Cherokee. No gain, 2nd and 10. Second down and 10 at the 27-yard line, 4:33 and counting before we go into halftime. Bryce Adams rolls out to his right. Pass complete to Carson Lovin. And he'll get pushed out of bounds right around midfield. They're going to actually mark it at the 49. Lovin was off to the races and accidentally stepped just a toenail out of bounds, but that's all it took for the officials to call him out. It's a nice pickup for the senior receiver. Carson Lovin will be sorely missed, as will the other seniors on this team once the season's over. Keller Adams goes forward, but not for long. In on the tackle, number 3, Michael Driver, and number 35, and Xavier Otter. And Cutler Adams is a little bit dinged up. He jogged back to the huddle and is now trying to walk off the field under his own power. I just have a slight little ding. He's walking it off. Looks like he's going to be okay. He may just have to take a play off. The officials saw a little too much of it. Cutler did not want to leave the field. He is not in a good mood after being asked to march off for a play. But he'll gather his bearings, take a sip of water, and we'll push forward on the field with Jude Campbell in the backfield. Pass is going to be complete to Brock Adams, and he's going to get down to the 31-yard line before being jerked down by Caden Trantham.
First and 10, Black Knights.
And Robbinsville is now at the Cherokee 31-yard line. Roswell got all the way to the 9 on its last drive before coming up short. Real quick, fans, as we mentioned, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday telecast next week as we continue our series of 5 telecasts in 8 days here on GramStarSports.com. 2 volleyball games, and, of course, Robbinsville Murphy football. Tune in. Make sure you buy your pass now so you can get your link and watch us stream Robbinsville Athletics. Gain of 5 on that carry will bring up second down and 5. It looks like Bryce Adams has his marching orders. Cutler Adams still not back in. They're giving him a breather. Jude Campbell lines up in the formation behind Bryce Adams, and he'll take a quick handoff and get a couple maybe before being mangled to the ground. on a tag team effort by So Smith and number 43, Luke Climbing Bear. Gain of 2 will make it 3rd and 3.
Third and 3 for the White Knights. It's third down, White Knight fans. Let's hear it for your team.
Fans, we've seen a lot of scoring already this season for Robbinsville, but once they've gotten into conference play so far, it's been a hard cross to bear to get on the scoreboard. 16-8 at halftime last week at Swain County. Robbinsville ended up prevailing 24-16. Both Robbinsville and Swain held to under 200 yards of offense each in that game. And it's going to be another 4th down for the Knights at the 23, 4th and 2.
It's 4th down, football fans. Let's hear it for your team.
Hand off to Adams. Right side. They need the conversion, and they're going to get it. Tyler Adams back in the game and makes a big play there. Good conversion for Robbinsville with 4th and 2 on the scoreboard. Knights pass the test, and it's 1st and 10 at the 18 as the clock dips to the 90-second mark here in the first half. Robbinsville lines it up 2 wide on the left side and plenty of people in the backfield. But Adams is going to roll out to the left. And nobody open. He'll keep it. Still on his feet. Runs right into Chase Calhoun. So Calhoun on the contact and Luke Smith on the tackle. Robbinsville now at the 10. 56 seconds to go. 2nd down and 2. And there's Bryce Adams straight forward. Can't get there though. Luke Climbing Bear on the tackle. Robbinsville has no timeouts remaining. By the way, in case you're wondering, they have already taken all 3 here in the half. Official timeout to let the chain crew get out of the way, I believe.
First and goal.
Had a hard time getting the marker set, and they're good to go now. 1st and goal at the 8. Adams fumbles it, picks it back up, but that is trouble. And the Braves will stuff him once he regains possession. 8 seconds to go. Can they get lined up properly? They're going to spike it to stop the clock with 5.4 to go here in the first half. Fans, in all my years covering sports, and I've been doing this for over 10 seasons, I have never seen a high school football game that's been so exciting with no score in the first half. This has been nothing if not intriguing, and the Braves are going to grab a breather as well on this one final play before we go into the locker room. Nothing here in Robbinsville. Well, fans, the Robbinsville Black Knights have won the opening coin toss. They kept the ball for the first 8+ minutes of the game and never have found the end zone, but neither has the Braves. 5.4 to go before the break. No score. Cherokee will get it back to begin the 3rd quarter, so if you're Robbinsville, you want to strike here. It's going to be a reverse to Zeke Silvers. And Robbinsville not able to snuff out the Cherokee defense. The Braves will walk off tall after pressure from Caden Smith and Luke Climbing Bear. And the Knights will jog to the locker room just as they came out in a nothing deadlock here on GramstarSports.com. Stick around, fans. In just a moment, we'll have the 2022 Graham County Athletics Hall of Fame induction ceremony. You're watching GrahamStarSports.com.
Black Knight fans, we welcome you this evening as we host the inductees to the Graham County Hall of Fame. Introducing the first inductee this evening into the Graham County Hall of Fame, Mr. Scott Anderson. A two-sport star, Scott Anderson played football and competed in track and field for Robbinsville High School from 1979 to 1983. The lineman of the year for 1982, Anderson earned all accolades during his career, joining the Varsity Smoky Mountain Conference and all Western North Carolina ranks for the start of the Black Knights' 5-year streak as 1A state champions. Anderson started in 3 of those title games. Only Anderson, Max Patterson, and Marty Reagan have ever achieved this feat. One of Anderson's most notable feats came during the 3rd round of the state playoffs in 1982. Stuck in a 0-0 stalemate during the second half against Rosamond, Anderson would pick off a pass and return it for a touchdown. Robbinsville won the game on his interception 6-0 and went on to defeat Bath 21-6 to win the state championship. Anderson would later help coach his son Blake's midget football teams. The midget team won the Cracker Bowl championship in 2003. Anderson is self-employed and is married to Diane. They have 4 children, Blake, McCall, Riley, and Hallie, as well as 2 daughters-in-laws, Shelby and Cameron, and 1 grandson, Dallas. In his spare time, Anderson enjoys fishing and spending time with his family. God has blessed me over the years, and I owe everything that I've accomplished in my life to him, Anderson said. Our first inductee, Mr. Scott Anderson. Our second inductee this evening will be represented on the field by son Mike Carr and daughter Angie Troll, inductee Norma Jean Holder Carr. When it comes to the history of basketball in Graham County, Norma Jean Holder Carr was in a league of her own. A varsity basketball mainstay for Spicoa through high school, Holder scored 383 points alone in her senior year, averaging 38.3 points per game. Her season low was 21 points. But down the stretch, Holder turned in a pair of performances against Murphy and Hiawassee Dam that would be talked about for years and decades to come. She unleashed 69 points in a game against Murphy before dropping 74, which would have been more than 100 in today's modern three-point era on Hiawassee Dam, actually outscoring the entire Ladies Eagles offense in a 91-69 win for the Spicoa Tornadoes. News of the accomplishments traveled far and wide, including a recap of her offensive showcases in the Asheville Citizen Times. In perhaps the most obvious headline ever printed, the story was flanked by the introduction, Norma Jean Holder, good at shooting a basketball. After graduation, Holder was blessed with 3 children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. She spent her life as a cosmetologist in Graham County, finishing her career in Augusta, Georgia. She enjoyed working in her garden and taking care of her countless flowers. Norma Jean Holder Carr Edison passed away February 26, 2020. She is loved and missed dearly by her family and friends. Miss Norma Jean Holder Carr, our second inductee into the Graham County Hall of Fame.
I wish I could take credit for some of this. Some of this.
Our third inductee tonight in the Graham County Hall of Fame is Mr. Tim Soulsby. 1978 graduate of Robbinsville High School, Tim Soulsby excelled both on the football field and on the basketball floor. He received the Best Defensive Award for Robbinsville basketball, but as a quarterback and linebacker for the Black Knights, Soulsby was named the Offensive MVP in 1977. He was also voted the #1 player in Western North Carolina and was the Smoky Mountain Conference Player of the Year. Soulsby played for the Knights during their undefeated 1976 and 1977 state championship campaigns, before taking his talents to the next level at both Marsville College and Western Carolina University. Playing sports was the highlight of school for me, and there are many memories, Soulsby said. Teammate relationships and making lifelong friends means a lot. Coaches Bob Colvin, Bergen Edwards, Scott Orr, Ira Rogers, and Gary Stepp were strong influences. Feeling the support of fans was great. There's still nothing like being in Big Oak Stadium. All of this drove my teams to do their best and go undefeated 2 years in a row. I will always be grateful for the opportunity and guidance, enabling my contribution to the 1976 and 1977 championships. Rock on, Black Knights, says Soulsby. Soulsby retired from Phillipson, Georgia in 2021, ending a 40-year-plus career. He has 2 children, Kelly Stasny and Mason Soulsby, and 2 grandchildren, Isla and Bergen Soulsby, and his girlfriend, Karen Williams, spend time at homes in North Carolina and Florida. His hobbies include racing, fishing, walking, golfing, and lake life. Spending more time with my friends and family now that I'm not working is awesome, Soulsby added. Mr. Tim Soulsby, our 3rd inductee in tonight's Grand County Hall of Fame. Our last 2 inductees into the Grand County Hall of Fame are 2 football teams representing the Robbinsville Black Knights. The first is the 1980 Robbinsville High School football team. The 1980 Black Knights were expected to do big things with the experience and talent that was returning from a 1A state championship team in 1979. They did everything that was expected and then some. They began the season by christening the new stadium on the hill in Bryson City with a 46-20 walloping of the defending 2A state champion, Swain. That was never even that close. They continued to reel off victories over the next few weeks over Murphy 46-26 and Cullowhee 44-0 until a big showdown at Big Oak Stadium against 2A powerhouse Civil Webster in week 4. There was a dogfight and saw some of the Knights come out with a hard-fought 14-12 victory over the Golden Eagles, who would go on to win the rest of their games and the 2A state title. The 1980 Black Knights reeled off 6 more victories with little resistance to cap a perfect regular season. The opening round of the playoffs was hosted by Cherokee, and the Knights beat a very good Braves team 26-17. The next round saw the Knights travel to Maxton to face their stiffest competition since September, but came out with a 22-15 victory in a very hostile environment. Finally, the Knights traveled to Rosewood for their 2nd consecutive state championship appearance and finished the flawless season with a dominant 40-0 victory over the Eastern Region's finest team. This would be the Knights' 2nd straight 1A state championship. The Knights averaged 38 points per game while giving up 14. Knights averaged 308 yards a game rushing and had another 118 per game passing. This team was led by a big physical line of Sam Crisp, Marty Reagan, Mitch Hedrick, Max Patterson, and Scott Anderson, while the skilled positions consisted of 5 future college football players: Lamar Schuler at quarterback, Ricky Stiles at tailback, Kevin Waldrop at fullback, Scott Odom at tight end, and Danny Jordan at split end. Other senior contributors in the 80 team include Philip Buchanan, Mike Hyde, and Darrell Simmons. The 1980 Black Knights are always in the conversation, which was the best team Robbinsville ever produced. The 1980 Robbinsville High School State Championship football team. Our final inductee this evening into the Grand County Hall of Fame is the 1981 Robbinsville High School football team. The 1981 Black Knights entered the season with a lot of question marks. They were the 2-time defending state champions, but had lost 7 starters on offense and 7 starters on defense from the 1980 team. The coaches knew that this team would have some growing pains before reaching their peak. The season began with a rocky opening against rival Swain as they came over to the newly renovated Big Oak Stadium with payback on their mind from the christening of the Knights had given them in their new Swain Stadium the year before. Swain dominated and won the game 32-0 to end the Knights' 22-game winning streak. The Knights then reeled off wins over Murphy and Cullowhee before traveling to Civil Webster and losing to them in another revenge game that from the previous being was given to the Golden Eagles in 1980. This would be the team that was led by Randy Mosteller. Hayesville was favored to win both games against Robbinsville, but fell to the Knights 44-33. Then again at Hayesville in the big conference contest 20-8. As the season went on, the Knights improved each week with the playoffs coming up. Robbinsville beat a tough Rosman team in the first round 22-0 and advanced to the second round to host Cherokee, who was in the Appalachian Conference and was the top-ranked team in the state and undefeated. The Braves were heavily favored to dethrone the Knights, but that would never happen as the Knights beat them soundly 18-7 as their only score was on a fumbled return. The Knights would then host a recently consolidated school that had very fast and very big players with several D1 athletes called Belhaven Wilkinson. The weather was wet and sloppy, and the fog was so dense it was difficult to follow the action on the field. Filming the game was not possible, as you could not see from one sideline to the other. The Knights The Knights prevailed in this night 68-0 with a running clock in the second half in the game to capture the Knights' first ever third consecutive title. They were led by Marty Reagan, Willie Perkins, and Ken Walter, all who would be at the next level the following year. Other 81 seniors include Joe Adams, Jeffrey Buchanan, and Scott Birchfield, Randy Moody, Max Patterson, and Andrew Stewart. An outstanding line led the way to nearly 3,500 yards on the ground and over 1,500 yards through the air. As not being noted as the best team from Robbinsville, the 1981 did overcome the third-year Jeeps that had haunted Robbinsville previously. The Knights also ran the consecutive winning streaks to over 1A competition with 27 games and were maybe the team that improved the most from start to finish, allowing a total of 3 scores over the last 5 games, including a playoff score of 108-7. The 1981 Robbinsville High School State Championship football team. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, let's give a hand to Mr. Scott Anderson, Mr. Wilma Jean Holder, represented by our family, Tim Soulsby, the 1980 and 1981 Robbinsville High School football teams, the newest inductees into the Graham County Hall of Fame.
It is a wonderful thing that Robbinsville makes sure and recognizes those that paved the way for the athletic successes that we get to enjoy today. Congratulations are in order to all of the members of the Graham County Athletics Hall of Fame induction ceremony for 2022. Scott Anderson, Norma Jean Holder, Tim Soulsby, and the 1980 and 1981 state championship football team. It is nothing as we go into the third quarter of tonight's game. This telecast is being brought to you by our season-long sponsor, Blevins Insurance, located off Rodney Orr Bypass in Robbinsville. Give them a call for all of your insurance needs. We also want to thank our other sponsors that have chipped in along the way this season. We want to thank Lovin Contracting as well as Coy Adams Timber Company for helping bring these telecasts to you wonderful Black Knight fans here on GramstarSports.com. Knights jog in from the huddle and will line up to kick off for the first time tonight. Alexander Wachacha will tee it off right around the peak mark. It is 21-0 Andrews at halftime. Last score update we heard was 7-0 Murphy. We haven't got a new Murphy score. It's now 14-7, between Murphy and Hayesville. The Bulldogs leading the Jackets at the moment. So Smoky Mountain Conference play about as even as it's been in years here in the first couple of weeks of this season. Wachacha lines up. He's going to kick it from the left side. And we're just about set to go with the second half of this nothing deadlock here in Graham County. Snagged at the 22-yard line. And he'll get up to around the 30, and that's about it. Ball come loose. And the Knights are begging for it, and they've got it. That was Quinn Jumper, I believe, on the fumble recovery. Quinn Jumper with a fumble recovery. And that is the first big shot in the arm of either team tonight, as it's been nothing but defense here in Robbinsville. That'll inject some life into the Knights. First and 10 at the 32-yard line of the Braves. And that's a good sign if you're a Robbinsville fan. Bryce Adams is in at quarterback still, going into deep on the first throw to Brock Adams. And it's going to go wide right. Second down and 10. Starting quarterback Donovan Carpenter was injured in the first quarter of this game and was getting taped up with a shoulder pack. And he's not even anywhere to be seen. He's actually dressed down to a coat at this point, so looks like he is done for the night. We'll try to get an update on Mr. Carpenter as soon as we can. Hopefully, he's going to be okay. Second and 10 for Robbinsville at the 32-yard line, and Bryce Adams will take it and hand it off to Jude Campbell, who cuts up after a short stint to the left. Wrapped up and tackled by number 43, Luke Climbing Bear, and number 72, Adam Panther. Pickup of 1, third down and 9. 11:24 to go here in the third quarter. So if you're Robbinsville in a scoreless ball game in the third quarter, you do not want to cough up this opportunity, this gift that was received on this recovered kickoff return. Quinn Jumper coming up with a big snag on the fumble recovery. And I believe Robbinsville is going to get rang up again. It's been a pretty clean game so far. Really and truly, the only infractions have been false starts against the Knights. I believe that's their fourth one of the ball game. And that'll back them up on a crucial third down to the 36. Third and 14 is going to be their challenge. Bryce Adams goes under center. He's going to roll out, looks for a pass that's going to be dropped by Brock Adams. Had it right in his fingertips, and it just bobbled its way back out. And that's a rare mental snafu for Brock Adams to not reel that ball in. And it looks like the Knights are going to have no choice but to punt for the first time here tonight. So the free gift goes awry, and Turner Jackson backs up to the 49 and will punt the ball away. An interesting punt here. Cherokee's going to have to play it back around the 7-yard line. Jackson sends it a country mile, and they hit the receiver, and that's going to bring out some yellow hankies onto the field for that contact. That was a terrible, terrible infraction on Robbinsville's part. You can't be hitting the receiver before he even gets to the ball. That is going to be trouble. And that's going to be a personal foul. Either way you chalk it up. On Robbinsville. Some great pursuit, but it's going to be costly. Head official is Daniel McNabb in the white hat. Great gentleman out of the Hiawassee Dam community in Cherokee County. And looks like they are going to back up the Knights for interfering with the catch. It will be a lengthy penalty. He was back at the 8, and it looks like they're going to snag him up to the 22. So I guess that means it is a 15-yarder. He was at the 7. So a strange start to the second half of tonight's ball game here in Graham County. And the Braves back on offense. So Smith with a quick shot low to Caden Trantham, and Trantham barking at his quarterback after coming up short on that pass. Smith offered it low.
Brings up 2nd and 10 against the White Knight defense. Ball still sits on the Cherokee Braves 24-yard line.
So Quinn Jumper's fumble recovery goes nowhere for Robbinsville, and now Cherokee faced with a 2nd and 10 at its own 24-yard line. Run up the gut, and that's the first burst by Chase Calhoun of this half. He had one decent one in the first half, too. Yards have been hard to come by tonight. We'll have the stats for you, as well as a detailed recap and all the latest Black Knight news in next week's edition of the Graham Star, your hometown newspaper since 1955. And we've been providing unparalleled news coverage from and around Graham County for 67 years. 1st and 10 for the Braves after Calhoun's sprint. Cherokee is now up to the 34-yard line after the 12-yard gain. Motion. And so Smith is going to keep the ball, and he's got some open room to do it. Some good blocking up front. Roman Jones in hot pursuit. Finally pursues him on out of bounds at the 37-yard line. And believe it or not, fans, that's about the biggest play for either side of the ball tonight. Whoever was touching it. Picks up 29 yards on that run, and it will be 1st and 10 with 9:48 to go here in the first quarter. Cherokee slowly comes out of the huddle, and the Knights are at the line ready. You see Titan Teesteski, number 72, Hayden Key, number 66, Carlos Lopez, 54. And Turner Jackson, number 7, on the front 4. And so Smith keeps it and goes nowhere. Stuffed by Cutler Adams and Titan Teske. Turner Jackson got in there for a little bit of assistance. 9:28 to go. 2nd and 10 for the Cherokee Braves at the 37-yard line. Robbinsville had to learn a valuable lesson last year, headed to Cherokee for a conference matchup and ended up on the losing end of that ball game. The Braves defeating the Braves defeating Robbinsville last season. Obviously a highly competitive rivalry. All these programs here in the Smoky Mountain Conference have played each other for generations and generations. So the bad blood just continues to trickle down to the next helping of players. 5-yard pickup will make it 3rd and 5 at the 32-yard line. 8:35 to go here in the third quarter. .23 and counting. Smith under center. Knights almost jump, but they hold up. And Smith takes a quick handoff, and he's going to end up keeping it around the right side and jerked down by Turner Jackson before he can get too loose. All the way out to the 26-yard line. And that's going to be enough to move the chains. And the Braves are threatening to get into the end zone, or the red zone, for the first time here tonight. So Michael Driver just fell into frame because he tripped up in the backfield over himself. Obviously not what you want to do there. And he'll have to try it again now. 1st and 15 after the boo-boo by the Braves. Driver had lined up in front of the quarterback over to the left side and not sure how, but lost his footing. Now he'll head over to the right side against Carson Lovin. Cherokee's got trips on the field. Motion. And finally the snap, and Smith will gut it up the middle. And didn't get too far before Quinn Jumper and Hayden Key slowed down his progress from behind. I call him Moo. Hayden Key, a valuable part of that line this year for Robbinsville. And the Braves having a brief caucus back here at the 35 to figure out what to do next. And that's not going to be enough. They're going to call a timeout. So the Braves and the Knights still in a 0-0 deadlock. 6:27 to go here in the third quarter. Back with you live from Modell Walsh Memorial Stadium, and the battle on Bob Colvin Field is just as heated as it's been all season. So heated, in fact, that nobody has scored yet, and a flag false start against Cherokee, and that's after a timeout. So the head coach for the Braves cannot be happy about that. And the Braves are killing themselves here with penalties on this drive. 2nd down and 19 to go at the 35-yard line. And they'll try it again.
Brings up 2nd and 19 against the Black Knight defense.
Smith with a quick fire, complete to number 34. That's Mateau Grant, the tight end for the Braves, has made an impact tonight on defense as well.
Brings up 3rd and 11 against the Black Knight defense. It's 3rd down, Black Knight fans.
3rd and 11 with 6:02 to go here in the 3rd quarter here on the Gramstar Sports Network. Smith lines up with Xavier Otter directly next to him. And a quick pass over to the left is going to be complete, so the Braves are getting some success in the air. Zeke Silver's on the tackle. Trantham with the reception. And more importantly, the Braves are stopped short. So the quick tackle by Silvers might negate the effort, and look at what we're at now. Cherokee going for it on 4th down for the first time here in this ball game. 5:10 to go, and a big play coming here, and a plow forward by Calhoun. Is that going to be enough? And it's going to be plenty. Chain's going to trickle 10 more yards up the field. And it'll now be 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line with 5 minutes exactly to go here in the 3rd stanza. As we mentioned, fans, our final regular season broadcast of Robbinsville football will be next Friday when the Black Knights host the Murphy Bulldogs. It'll be senior night, so you know both teams will be fired up. Murphy looking for revenge always, and Robbinsville will be emotional at a senior night. Driver cuts about 2 steps to his left and then upfield, and picked up 2. 2nd down and 8 at the. Looks like they're at the 12-yard line. It's a huge conversion for Cherokee to keep their drive going. And now Smith will just promptly keep it around the left side, and he's going to get in. That's a touchdown for Cherokee. And the scoreless drought is over for both teams. Smith found an open hole and just trotted 12 yards to the end zone. And the senior quarterback has gotten the Braves on the scoreboard at 6-0. And it looks like number 34, that is Mateau Grant, is going to kick the extra point. 3:53 left in the 3rd quarter. We'll see what happens on the PAT. Grant's kick is up, and it's way good. So we finally got a score, and if you're a Black Knight fan, it's not a good one. It's 7-0 Cherokee with 3:53 left here in the 3rd quarter. Back in just a moment on GramstarSports.com. Jack Teesteski set to kick off for Cherokee. The Braves have struck first with 3:53 to go in the third quarter. And it's a low pooch. Didn't get all of that one. And it looks like Cutler Adams will scoop it up at the 26. He's on his feet, still going. Cutler Adams has broken free, and I don't know if they're going to catch him or not. Finally ran out of bounds. What a return for Cutler Adams. And if you're Robbinsville, that's the kind of response you want to see after the first score of this defensive stalemate here tonight. Adams snagged it around the 25 and ran it all the way back to the Cherokee 7. And it's first and goal just like that for Robbinsville. Big return for Cutler Adams. Looks like the monkey's off the back as far as scoring goes. And maybe that's the shot in the arm the Black Knights needed. But a penalty flag as Judge Schuler got a little antsy over on the left side of the line. And just like that, the Knights will have to back up to the 12 and try it again.
We just ain't got a head in the game, man. Cherokee's playing some good defense, though.
5-yard penalty mark off against the White Knights. Have the White Knights at the Cherokee Ray 12-yard line.
Thank you. Adams squeaks through, and just like that, Robbinsville gets a touchdown. 12 yards of their own, so a pair of 12-yard runs. And look at that, fans, is 7-6. Lengthy return by Cutler Adams, and then, of course, the 12-yard carry right there for the first score of the game for Robbinsville.
And the Black Knights line up for the 2-point conversion.
And a whistle. Timeout called by Robbinsville. They're going to strategize on how to strike after their first score of the game. Back in just a moment, it's 7-6 Cherokee. Seven 6 with 3:35 to go, and the Knights are trying for two after the Cutler Adams 12-yard touchdown. They'll have Turner Jackson, and he'll squeak in, and the Knights have gained the lead really for the first time here tonight. It is an 8-7 score here in Robbinsville. Back in just a moment on GramstarSports.com. Stand corrected, that was Cutler Adams on the 2-point conversion. My apologies, Mr. Adams. Doing it all on that drive for Robbinsville. And the Knights suddenly lead 8-7. And a quick greeting after the kickoff reception by Xavier Otter. Doesn't get far. And the Braves will have to start at 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line. As this game went scoreless for about 2 3/4 of the quarters, and then about a span of 18 seconds, 2 touchdowns took place. That's the kind of game you're seeing here tonight in Robbinsville. Appreciate all of you fans tuning in, whether you're a Black Knight or a Brave. You're most certainly welcome here on GramStarSports.com. Big Carlos Lopez comes in to help Cutler Adams take down Chase Calhoun.
Number 54, senior Carlos Lopez. Brings up 2nd and 8 against the Black Knight defense.
2nd and 8 on the 2-yard pickup. And some chicanery right in the middle. And a flag comes out. You see Titan Teskey motioning that he was held. And the Braves are called for holding. And that'll scoot the Braves back 10 yards. And I'll put the Braves back. They're still going, apparently, from the spot of the foul, so it's all the way back to the 28.
Foul puts the Black Knight defense all the way back to the Cherokee Brave 28-yard line. Brings up 2nd and 21 against the Black Knight defense.
Pass goes incomplete. Looks like it was intended for Caden Trantham. And they'll try it again. The pass was way high. Third down and 20 for the Braves. So the Braves are going to have to go a long way on this one to make it happen. 3rd and long. 3rd down and 20 exactly, I believe, at the 28-yard line. See what So Smith comes up with here. Pitches it. Intercepted by Brock Adams, senior for Robbinsville. Pushed out of bounds at the 24-yard line. And the Knights are not going to be denied. Excellent play by Mr. Adams to pick that one off. And Robbinsville's got it back again in great field position. 1st and 10, they'll start at the 24. Big play there for the senior Brock Adams. And Cutler Adams will continue to work through the line. 12-yard dash. And that has finally woke up the fans here at the Big Oaks. They've watched a defensive game, and those are fun to watch, of course. Knights are finally giving their team, or their fans, something to cheer about here in the 3rd quarter. Minute 50 to go. 8-7 Robbinsville. And that is not a typo. Cutler Adams just couldn't go anywhere. Chase Calhoun put the death grip on his jersey.
Tackled on the play by number 8, Chase Calhoun. Loss of a yard on the play brings up 2nd down, 2nd and 11 for the White Knights.
1-yard loss. 2nd and 11 at the 13 with 1:19 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Well, fans that couldn't go scoreless all night, somebody had to strike, and it was Cherokee that struck first. Robbinsville responded 18 seconds later, and now Bryce Adams
Quarterback number 6, Bryce Adams,
heads towards the promised land, but ends up stopped around the 2, I believe. as we dip under a minute to go here in the third.
Takes the ball down to the 3-yard line.
We'll mark it at 3.
Brings up 3rd and 1.
Will be 3rd and 1 for Robbinsville. Clock running, 40 seconds to go before we pause for the fourth.
Come on, gotta go.
And play clock trickles down to 10. They're going to get it off in plenty of time, though. Adams, kind of an odd play there. Nobody knew the play was going. But they're going to count it. And Bryce Adams has scored the first touchdown of his varsity career. 20 seconds to go, and the Knights have extended their lead. It's now 14-7.
That was ugly. That's a busted play.
It wasn't the prettiest thing on earth, but fans, it worked. And the 3-yarder at the 22nd mark pushes the Knights further ahead to 14-7. And the Knights will fan out for the 2-point conversion. Roman Jones is in at quarterback for this one. And he's going to hand it off to Jude Campbell. No, I'll check that. He's kept it. And he may get stopped short. And he will. But Robbinsville has tacked on. And we got a flag on the play, though. Excuse me, we may not go anywhere just yet. And Naomi Nab's going to back up to get some clearance. It's a face mask on Cherokee.
Face mask is the call. Face mask against Cherokee.
So that'll actually give the Knights another chance to try for the conversion. And they'll get to do it right around the 1/4 yard line.
Half the distance to the goal, the White Knights will attempt the 2-point conversion.
And there's Roman Jones coming back in for the 2-point conversion attempt. Take 2. Cutler Adams. Why not? Adams, no opposition, jogs back to his teammates. And it's 16-7 Robbinsville with 20 seconds to go in the third quarter. Fourth quarter score update. Andrews 33, Swain County zilch. So the Wildcats well on their way to going to 7-0. And that is dangerous if you're anybody to face the Wildcats down the road. Robbinsville gets them in 2 weeks and had better bring its A game or it will be a troublesome night for the Black Knights. And Turner Jackson on the tackle.
It'll be 1st and 10 against the Black Knight defense.
34-0. And Cherokee starting now 1st and 10 at the 45. They may get one playoff here in the quarter. And it's going to be a keeper for So Smith. And he's caught for a loss. First sack of the ball game for Jude Campbell. And that's probably going to be it, fans. The third quarter comes to a close and some offense finally on the board. Robbinsville comes out on the better end. It's 16-7 Black Knights. Stay with us, fans, here on GramStarSports.com. Welcome back, fans, to Robbinsville. It is 16-7 Black Knights as we enter the fourth quarter. And all 23 points have been scored in the third segment. It was scoreless at halftime. Pass complete for the Braves from quarterback So Smith to Mattel Grant. Quick zip.
Number 1, Zeke Silvers. Number 4, Cutler Adams on the tackle for the Black defense pushed back to their own 45-yard line. Brings up 1st and 10 against the Black Knight defense.
So the Knights are now pushed back to the 45, and it will be 1st and 10. Check that. Looks like the ball is going to be at the, yes, it is on the 45, my mistake, as we begin the 4th quarter here tonight. Smith snags it. Quick carry up the gut by Chase Calhoun.
Handoff goes to number 8, Chase Calhoun. Tackle led by number 54, Senior Carlos Lopez.
Senior Carlos Lopez on the tackle.
Pushed back to their own 42-yard line. Brings up 2nd and 7 against the Black Knight defense.
Handoff going to be kept by Smith. That's a great fake handoff. Smith has fooled everybody several times with it, but not that time. No gain.
They've given him a gain of a yard on the play. Brings up 3rd and 6.
That's what we get for predicting it too soon. Pickup of 1 makes it 3rd and 6 with 10:16 left to go here in the ball game. Smith rolls out to the right and pass complete to Xavier Otter, and he powers about 7 or 8 more yards after the reception.
Brings up 1st and 10 against the Black Knight defense.
First and 10 now at the 24 with 9:42 to go in the ball game. And Calhoun continues to power forward and never did get him brought down until he got well inside. But a fumble on the play is recovered by Robbinsville. Holy smokes, what happened there? Oh my. Not sure who was on the fumble recovery because we didn't even see the fumble take place. May have been Roman Jones getting credit for the fumble recovery up here in our press box. So we'll give it to him, and we apologize for not being 100% sure. But that's how it goes when you're sitting way up top and the action's down the field. So another gift for Robbinsville. 1st and 10 at the 10 after the Roman Jones recovery. And Cutler Adams is stuffed as he tries to cut in. Chase Calhoun helps wrangle him down to the ground.
Make that number 68.
We got a block, man.
60, Luke Smith.
That's where you don't have a quick guard to run that play.
Yeah, I saw him late. He just got out.
Still at quarterback, Bryce Adams. And he's got some open real estate. He'll jog over to the 23-yard line, it looks like, where he'll get pushed out. Maybe the 24 to the official spot it. Luke Smith on the tackle. They are going to place at the 24. Well-earned yardage, pickup of about 13 for Bryce Adams, who has really had to step into a difficult situation here tonight. Starting quarterback Donovan Carpenter went down with an injury in the first quarter, and Adams has taken most of the snaps since then. Roman Jones has tagged in a few times, but Adams doing a fine job plugging in at quarterback here tonight. We do not know the status on Donovan Carpenter, but we certainly do hope he's okay.
move out for their own 28-yard line.
I'm going to play Indian Outlaw if we win. No, I'm kidding.
Brings up 2nd and 6 for the Black Knights.
2nd and 6 for Robbinsville. Handoff goes to Cutler Adams again. And he is wide open but pushed out of bounds. And never really slowed down. Josh Winfrey trying to slow his momentum before he crashed through the concrete retaining wall. And that's going to be plenty for another Knights first down. Ball will be spotted at the Robbinsville 41-yard line. And Adams will hand it off. Sneaking inside is going to be Cutler Adams. It's up to the 44.
Brings up 2nd and 7 for the Black Knights.
2nd and 7 now for Robbinsville, right here below us, fans, on the 44. And Bryce Adams keeps it, and that's trouble. Snuffed out by Chase Calhoun. So a pair of sacks here in the second half for each team. Calhoun gets one for Cherokee, and in the waning seconds of the third quarter, Jude Campbell got one for Robbinsville. So the Knights are trying to march downfield. And 6:53 to go. They do hold all the cards, up by 9. 16-7 your score here on GramstarSports.com. And a pass complete to Brock Adams, and he is taken off. That's a state track champion dashing to the end zone. Touchdown, Robbinsville. How about a 58-yard reception? Nice to see the brother-brother connection, Bryce to Brock for 58. And Robbinsville's opened this one to 22-7. And two-point conversion attempt coming. Here's Bryce. Takes the snap, pass. Deflected, and that's not going to do the job done, but Robbinsville now leads by 2 scores. It is 22-15, or 22-7, excuse me, 15-point lead, as we'll step aside with 6:32 left to go in the ball game. Back live from Graham County, North Carolina. We're at Modell Walsh Memorial Stadium, Bob Colvin Field, and it's 22-7 Robbinsville with 6:32 to go here on the Gramstar Sports Network. Kickoff by Xander with Chacha, and it will be snagged by the Braves, and he'll get bullied all the way into the depths of the Robbinsville sideline. That's Chase Calhoun on the reception. And he runs it back to the 36, I believe, is where the officials will place the ball. And that's where we'll begin the drive. 1st and 10. Cherokee scored first, and Robbinsville has scored 22 unanswered in response.
Cherokee 36-yard line brings up 1st and 10 against the Black Knight defense.
Pass from Smith. Intercepted by Bryce Adams. And the Adams boys are doing it all here tonight in Robbinsville. Big throw out of bounds. And thought we had a flag out. That is mistaken. Sorry about that. Just pause to make sure. Interception gives it right back to the Knights at the 26-yard line. So short field again. Talk about stepping up big tonight. Bryce Adams making a name for himself in this ball game. He'll hand it off up the middle to Jude Campbell, who's hit hard around the 20-yard line, I should say.
Gain of 7 on the play brings up 2nd and 3.
7-yard pickup for Jude Campbell before the smack. 2nd down and 3 at the 19. Robbinsville's really dictated the pace here all night. Cherokee with very brief possessions each time that the Braves have had the ball. Hand off again. And it is to Cutler Adams, and he'll actually get stopped for a rare loss. Hard to get to Adams in the backfield.
Brings up 3rd down, 3rd and 3 for the White Knights. It's 3rd down, White Knight fans. Let's hear it for your team.
And it's 3rd and 3 at the 19 with 4:51 to go. Robbinsville's got the ball back, and Bryce Adams is going to keep it for all that's needed to get the first down. Wrapped up and tackled by Adam Panther.
Tackled there by number 72, Adam Panther. 1st and 10, Black Knights.
And I believe Kenson Davis got in on that as well for the Braves. It took till 3:53 in the 3rd quarter to get a score on the scoreboard, and it hasn't stopped since. Cherokee scored first, and Robbinsville with 22 that the Braves have not been able to reply to as of yet. 1st and 10 to 14, 4:18 to go in the ball game. Cutler Adams plowing forward. They ain't going to stop him. Touchdown, Robbinsville with 4:09 to go. Son, he gutted that touchdown out. Nobody going to knock the big junior running back to the ground. 28-7, and the Knights are stuffing it to the Braves here in the latter part of the ball game. "14-yard touchdown run for Cutler Adams."
Oh, I got one thing to say about it.
And the Black Knights line up for the
How about them
2-point
Braves?
Knights line up for the 2-point conversion. It goes around the left side to why not Cutler Adams.
And up around the left side, number 4, Cutler Adams with a 2-point conversion for the Black Knights.
That's what you want if you're a Black Knight fan. 30-7 Robbinsville with 4:09 to go. The Braves are reeling and time is running out.
How about them?
Robbinsville has scored 30 in a row and has opened up a 37 advantage over the Braves as a result. Welcome back to Robbinsville for tonight's telecast of Black Knights football. We'll be back with the regular season home finale next week against the Murphy Bulldogs. Make sure you get your pass available for purchase now on GramstarSports.com. Tackle made by number 24. That is Tillman Adams, making his first big play on varsity after the JV call-up. That is a freshman sensation from the junior varsity team that just split the conference championship last week. Some JV call-ups. And Murphy's still hanging on to a 14-7 lead over Hayesville as they go into the fourth. Swain has scored, but Andrews still leads 34-7 in the fourth quarter. That one's academic at this point. Murphy-Hayesville could still go either way, and this one looked to go that way as well until about, 5-10 minutes ago. Smith on the keeper, reverses direction, trying to find anywhere to go, and all he saw was Black Knight uniforms in front of him. Quinn Jumper eventually leads the effort.
Hayesville has the ball. 9 minutes left in Hayesville. 14-7 left.
Yeah, over and back. I think that was more than he felt.
I want an interception for
Smith, still on his feet, missed tackle in the backfield, and he plows forward.
Is he getting up?
barely.
God, he got a
Tackle was played by number 7, senior Turner Jackson, and number 14, Tanner Henry.
2:56 to go.
Wait, 7? Yeah, there he is. I see him. He's like a lineman.
It's not a drum corps, so.
Linebacker. Turner. See him on the. Looks like he's playing defensive end.
Smith will roll out here on 3rd and 7 at the 35. Long pass, complete. What a throw by Smith. And the tackle finally made by speedy Zeke Silvers. Michael Driver with a huge reception for the Braves. And the injection of life may have come a bit too late.
And the White Knight defense pushed all the way back inside their own 10-yard line, down to the 9-yard line, brings up.
And the Braves now at the 9-yard line after that huge gain. Smith rolls to the right. He'll keep it. And he's tripped up low by Brock Adams. Adams nicked him as he jumped over him, and down he went. And 1:43 to go. Pick up a 1, makes it 2nd and goal from the 8-yard line. 1:29 to go. Both teams have 2 timeouts, but with it being a 3-score lead, well, I was just going to say no one was probably going to take one, but Cherokee's going to still try and do something here in the latter part of the game. And we'll step aside while they figure out what's up next for the Braves offense here on GramstarSports.com. 1:25 to go, fans. 37, Robbinsville. Cherokee finally struck first with 3:53 to go in the third quarter, and ever since then, it's been all Black Knights on offense. Big pass into the end zone will be good for a touchdown for the Braves. Michael Driver will reel it in, and that'll be a late score for Cherokee. 30-13, now the score. 8-yard touchdown heave.
Hey, Noah, David asked me if I would, but I'm going to tell you, remind people to pick up their trash and put it in a receptacle when they leave.
And looks like the Braves are going to try for the conversion. Need all the points they can get at this point if they're going to try any late chicanery. Smith rolls out. Quick pass back across. That is going to be broken up. No good. And the Braves still trail by 17. Robbinsville's going to get the ball back here on this next kickoff. And we may have the ball game wrapped up here in just a moment on GramStarSports.com. And back with you live, fans. 1:18 left on the clock. Jack Tisateski, freshman kicker for the Braves, will kick it away. And no surprise there. It's going to be an onside kick. Roman Jones holds on for dear life. And not much of a fight. Ball goes 10 yards. It's as legal as it gets. And Robbinsville will put the final touches on this one. Knights are going to improve to 6-1. Cherokee on the inverse will go to 1-6. The Knights will host Murphy for the final home game of the regular season. Of course, we'll have postseason action here, I'm sure, as we get into the later rounds of the playoffs. We are 6-1 after tonight. Robbinsville will go to Andrews in 2 weeks and Hayesville in 3 and take a rest before beginning the playoffs, as Bryce Adams is going to take a kneel for a few snaps to run out the clock.
One more snap, boys.
So we might make it dangerous.
Hold up. Get it under 40
Brings
seconds.
them 2nd and 11 to the White Knights.
You gonna play yours? Gone? I mean, I will. I don't care.
And another knee for Bryce Adams. And that's going to be all she wrote. The clock's going to run out before another snap is necessary. Fans, no one scored until 3:53 left in the third quarter, and it was Cherokee that struck first. From there, it was a 30-0 run for the home squad, and the final score here tonight will be 30-7. Remember, fans, 3 telecasts next week to finish out our 5 broadcasts in 8 days run. We'll have varsity volleyball next Tuesday at home against Hayesville on Pink Night. The regular season finale at home Thursday, Robbinsville, Swain County volleyball on senior night. And of course, next Friday, senior night here at home for the Robbinsville Black Knights football team against Murphy. Be sure and join us. Your pass can be purchased now at GramStarSports.com. Thank you so much for joining us for tonight's telecast and helping support Robbinsville Athletics. I'm Kevin Hensley, wishing everyone a good night and have a very restful weekend.